You're back with another one. This time we got best. Wow, butchered that. Let's try that again. Best strategic anime fights by VinnyTube. Let's y'all do that, hit that, and enjoy. So go into it. I'm not gonna lie. I like when anime like they don't rely on just who's stronger, and it's more like who has the best strategy. That's why I'm more partial to part one Naruto versus part two Naruto, because most of the time it just ends up being, oh, he's stronger. He has more. He's better jutsu than oh, he's smarter. He's better ninja.
In anime, we often think of conflicts and fights being the whole "my sword is bigger than yours," "no, mine is even bigger than yours" type of exchanges. A lot of battle shonen are actually quite notorious for that, I know. That's why we're going to talk about conflicts and battles that have this extra depth to them in this episode. We're talking strategy, we're talking big brain plays, and we're talking fast mental reflexes. Yes, today we'll talk about some of my favorite battles where planning and strategy come into play to show you that even in those fights filled with fireworks and spectacles, there are a few ones where brains come into play in a surprisingly creative way. Do brains always beat brawn in the list we're doing? Well, not necessarily, but those mental gymnastics sure can get surprisingly interesting. I don't want to keep you waiting, so here are some of my favorite anime battles involving strategy.
What did I just What did I just say? What did I just say? I just was talking good about this show. And then this was my favorite fight in the whole show. Okay, yeah, okay, I can't say that because Rock Lee versus Gara was right there. Now, but that was also like who's stronger. But like this is my favorite strategic fight in the whole show. I don't care that Shikamaru lost. I don't care that Shikamaru like gave up. Like he was smart. He was smart. That was such a strategic. Like I didn't see that coming. I thought he lost because she was stronger. But he was smarter, and he won.
As one of these early in Shikamaru versus Temari.
That being said, sometimes you do need a more determined, winner. But
despite people knowing Naruto more for the broken abilities and overpowered character forms, I'd say that it has some of the most strategic.
Bro, he's speaking what I spoke. He's in my brain.
Fights in battle shonen. Now, a lot of them came in the Chunin exam arc, when the power scaling was still low. Thus, the spotlight shines on Shikamaru. We've known Shikamaru to be a master strategist, known more for his intelligence and quick thinking instead of an overwhelming power.
Is that a real
word?
Eyes. Or is it strategist?
Why the battle against Temari, another master strategist, is a match made in heaven. And for the most part of it, it seems that Shikamaru was the one taking the beating. He was on the defensive the whole time, only to masterfully spring his trap that he planned for in the very beginning. It was a very long-term plan, and despite having forfeited the match, it's clear as day that Shikamaru is the rightful winner here.
He's speaking facts.
When a non-fan watches JoJo,
okay, a strategist, not strategist.
No pun intended, would likely be the stand battles, the insane abilities that stand users throw at each other. However, any fan knows that a lot of fights in JoJo's storied run go beyond just stands pummeling each other like Star Platinum versus the world. I personally find the series of derby fights pretty good because more than just people hitting each other, it is all about strategy. The poker match in particular comes to mind, and it's a match full of tension as both Darby and Jotaro try to one-up each other in mental maneuvering. Not to mention that with souls on the line, the stakes are as high as ever. Darby feels tame as a villain, but has that cool factor because he's one who fights with psychological warfare. It's hard not to show any sign of weakness in high-stakes poker matches, and that's where his stand thrives in. It's just too bad he found his match in Jotaro.
That liquid's kind of gross. The strategy in JoJo, actually, like most of their fights are more strategy than just power, because all these stand abilities are just kind of weird and like strange. You got to figure out ways to beat the stand abilities. It's not just like my stand can punch harder than yours, because then Jonathan or any one of the Joestars would win every time, because Star Platinum is super strong, super fast, and can stop time. That's like straight up I'm saying Jonathan. Jonathan had Hermit Purple, who was also my favorite Joestar. I was thinking of not Jonathan, Jotaro, Jotaro. I think I say it like an American. Jotaro, Jotaro, Jotaro. I don't know how to say it properly. Hunter 2. It's the same thing.
Island, but if we're talking big brain plays and strategy, few can beat the dodgeball match. I dare say this part has become underrated for the quality of writing, but that's more of a testament to how good the Greed Island arc is as a whole. Of course, it's not an anime dodgeball match without bullshit rules and absurdly high stakes, but that's what makes it so awesome. I like how it's also one of the most intense training sessions there is. In this case, it's all about training hunters to value teamwork, and as selfish as some may be, being able to rally people for a common goal is a must for any competent hunter. The match has no shortage of drama, and I like how it built character in various places. You see Gon's selfishness, and Killua gets his chance to shine. Seriously, with how engaging the match was, the 3 episodes just seemed to pass by, and that formation for the win at the end was a thing to remember. Hisoka stealing the show once again, don't you think?
That was good strategy. But it's dodgeball, so he can catch it, right? And that would be Hisoka, or not Hisoka, that'd be Gon to be out. So he'd still, I forgot the rules of the game. I'll be honest. They call it dodgeball, but in dodgeball, if you catch the catch, that's the person who throws it who's out. So I guess they had different rules. Shaman King. Oh.
Next is what I think is an underrated moment in Shaman King 2021. There's not much buzz with the remake of Shaman King now, is there? Can't blame them when the anime producers somehow thought zooming through the plot was a good idea. Still, it does have some cool moments once in a while, watered down as they may be. In particular, I have an X-Laws bias, and I think X3 facing off against Hao is a pretty cool moment. Yep, X3 ended up being nothing but fodder to Hao, but you've got to give them chops for their ingenious way of trying to defeat the most overpowered character in the show. It took numerous lives, but the group eventually finds a way to smartly expose the Spirit of Fire's weak point. Well, it doesn't work because Hao has his main villain plot armor, but still. This fight, albeit short and having a predetermined result, excels because it builds hype in multiple ways. We see how powerful Hao was, how the X-Laws see each other as disposable, and how creative they can be when trying to defeat their enemies. Up next is Grey versus Silver.
I don't remember this fight, but this was the last arc. Right?
With how its reputation
Silver's
was
dad.
by the time it was all over, it won't come as a surprise if Fairy Tail isn't on your list of shows with strategic fights. But here we are with a showcase fight and possibly one of Grey's personal highlights. Well, not his final battle by any means, so do note that there are still 2 arcs after this. I see this fight as one of Grey's last glorious moments for himself. We get teased to one of the biggest payoffs to his long storyline with Deliora, which was originally revealed in one of the earliest arcs, and Silver's words energize him enough to overcome a seemingly unwinnable battle. Through Nakama power, as we've come to expect? No, through strategy. It has
2? Let's see. Tartaros. What's Avatar arc? I don't remember this. 1 year after Fairy Tail's tracked down to revive the guild, meanwhile, a shadow sinister organization with familiar faces paved the way to the new world belonging to Zeref. A brand new journey awaits. Isn't that the Alvarez arc? Oh, this is. Oh, that's right. That's when they came back from the time skip, and then they were like, oh, let's beat up these jobbers. Like, they had no trouble. And Gray was a cop, I think. This hiding 5 dragon gods apparent equal to Senate while hard Toka, who's Jin suspicion. Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember that either.
some great callbacks to
Wait, there was more after. Whatever. I'm not thinking about it. It's not animated, so I don't care.
And he uses this to his advantage, outsmarting Silver with his numerous clones and finishing the battle.
I don't remember that cat. That's bugging me. I don't remember that cat. I don't remember that cat. And it wasn't colored. So I feel like they didn't animate it. So was there actually something else after the Alvarez art? Did they end it early?
Video so far because I'm here to ask for some subscription and help the No Game No Life for me is one of the best isekai there is, and it doesn't even feature an overpowered protagonist. Well, in the traditional sense at least. However, the pair known as Blank continually show their mettle in outsmarting opponents and overcoming the odds, but it would seem that they've found their match in Jibril. What follows is by far the most insane game of Shiritori you'll see in anime, and nothing's topping that anytime soon. Whatever you say appears if it's absent and appears if it's present. You have highlights like Sora summoning a freaking bomb at the start to Blank, and Jibril bringing out the big guns and causing planetary explosions with a healthy dose of fan service in between classic No Game No Life fashion, mind you. The siblings have shown their intelligence numerous times. This is probably the most eye-popping display of it in the series by far. Blank really planned for the eventual end game from the first move. I'd really recommend watching the series just for this scene alone. Plus, everyone loves Jibril, at least before No Game No Life 0, so it's a win-win.
I was about to say, I don't like her. What do you mean everybody loves Jibril? I hate her guts. But that's because I didn't watch the show. I only watched the movie. She really killed. Don't even get me started on that disgusting creature.
We don't often equate fate with particularly smart fights, probably because we're used to seeing magnificent, noble phantasms like Excalibur. However, the battle between Kirei and Giritsugu is actually quite strategic, even if it's not exactly evident at first. There are barely any words spoken in the fight, but it just highlights the excellence of the scene through the fighter's body language. With how much of an expert both of them are, this pretty much boils down to a one-shot fight, where the first one who lands the decisive hit wins, and that necessitates much strategizing. Take note though, Kirei is the one person Giritsugu fears in the series, and their final showdown shows just that. You can see that despite the blitzing they do, the actions are planned and deliberate, and the fight visibly takes a toll on them physically as it goes on. You don't see much monologue here, but there's just this appeal to showing something instead of telling the viewers, and this fight shows that style with pure excellence.
Now I agree, that fight was amazing, but I don't feel like that was strategic. I feel like that's a fight. You know, two good fighters, they're going to plan on how to beat each other. So during the fight, I don't feel like that was that strategic. I feel like they just put this up there just because it's that good of a fight, though. Like, it was a really good fight. It was honestly the best fight of the whole Fate Zero. Fate Zero. Right? Is that Fate Zero? Yeah. I gotta make sure. I'm pretty sure it's Fate Zero. Yep, okay. And Fate Zero had some good fights. Not as good as Heaven's Feel. The Heaven's Feel movies, Hercules versus... Oh, I'm going to nerd out again. I actually did a reaction a very long time ago to the Fate fights before I even watched Fate. So go ahead, check my channel for that. And I did a reaction / review to the Heaven's Feel movies. So you should watch that too. If you haven't already, I mean, probably you could have.
I feel that few people talk about World Trigger, and it's just a bit unfortunate seeing as how awesome the series is. Spanning 3 seasons, it just kept getting better as it went on. This particular moment, however, took place in the 2nd season. Here we have Border taking on the invaders in a battle royale for the ages. I like this 4-on-2 because of how much you get to see the fighters' thought process. You can also see the teamwork in play, while the combatants clearly learn and adjust on the fly, shifting tactics while learning about attacks to prevent and points to target in the process. I also like how the fighters' abilities all complement and augment each other in this battle. It's an action-heavy fight, and while it's not exactly as big-brained as something like the No Game No Life moment, it is great in how it showed some of the most important aspects of combat, adaptability, and team chemistry. In a huge-scale ensemble battle like this, those are must-haves for survival.
I'm really feeling like there's way more you could put on this. They could make a part 2 to this.
And that just about wraps up my list. But I do know for sure that there are way more big brain battles in anime. Heck, the whole of Death Note counts if you'd ask me. So if you've got a specific battle in mind that I failed to mention, then please tell me in the comment section. I'm always on the lookout for new content, so...
Yep, part 2. Let's see. I'm going to my list to see if there's things I've seen. anime. Uh, Cowboy Bebop probably got some. Was there one in One Piece? I feel like it's an Usopp fight that's got one. Usopp had to be smart with his wins. He didn't really like overpower somebody. Ooh, Crollo versus Hisoka gets animated. Okay, don't do this to me. It's not out yet. I don't want to know. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt too much. It's gonna hurt way too much. 91 days. 91 days was just strength. That was. I'm not gonna lie. Assassination Classroom. They use their brains, but I mean, I don't think they even had a fight. Did they? Yeah, they used their brains. They were just smart about it. I don't think there's any Attack on Titan. No, Batum, Code Geass. No, Dead Man Wonderland. It was strength. Drifters. Drifters was a war, so it kind of has to use strategy. Full Metal is just all strategy. Honestly, there's no I'm stronger than you, so that's why I win kind of thing. Thinking of Zodiac War, but Zodiac War was not My Hero. Against Stain, was that? Would you guys consider the Stain fight being strategic, or would that just be more like I'm good? No. What's his name? Lemillion versus Overhaul. I'm thinking that's the most strategic fight in My Hero. Now, I'm going to keep looking at this list and see if there's any other things I've missed. Because, like, Psychopaths, Samurai Champloo, like, there's got to be, like, some more on here. Tokyo Ghoul, like, there's got to be some options in here. I just don't remember them right now. Oh, Vampire Knight. I just got bad flashbacks to Vampire Knight. Alright, I hope y'all enjoy. Make sure y'all like the video, comment, subscribe.